chest, fingers flying, making patterns twist. Susie's voice breaking through the haze, crochet forever in a woolly maze.
Hello, how are you? It's Susie with Susie's Crochet Chat, place where we talk about yarn hooks, tips, tricks, everything in between. I thought I would do a video and we would talk about crochet tips on how not to get overwhelmed while crocheting, because that does happen. So, you know, anybody can look at this, Google it, whatever, but sometimes, you know, maybe you're watching this and it's just your little downtime and you just want somebody to tell you what the tips are instead of you looking them up yourself. So that's what I'm doing. And I Googled some things, you know, exactly what I said about, you know, tips to try not to get overwhelmed while crocheting. So here's the ones I found, and they are very basic. Most of you know these things, but sometimes it's a good reminder. The first thing is to start small. And you know, that's really true, because after I've done a really big project that has overwhelmed me, I just want to do something very small, basic, something I can get done quick and feel accomplished. So, you know, you could do dishcloths, scarves, coasters. Not only will that help you not be so anxious and get a project done, you will build some confidence, you know, and you know, you'll be very satisfied with the result because you've made something. And, you know, it always makes you feel good once you've accomplished something. Just like when I did those pot holders that I'm going to use like a trivet, those flower ones, that only took me 2 days, but not 2 days of constant crocheting, but you know, the time I put into it, it didn't take all that long, and I really like it. So, you know, it served its purpose. Kind of goes to the next one, choose simple patterns, which could be hard at times because sometimes you see something and you think, oh, that's going to be easy, and it turns out a little more complicated than you thought. That's why it's always best to read the pattern first. I usually glance at it and I don't read the whole thing, and then all of a sudden something's coming up and I'm like, what? And I get a little stuck. That does happen, but then I get over it and it's fine. But really, you should read the pattern, pick something, you know, even if it's a repetitive thing, that kind of helps, because you can watch TV, listen to a book, and just keep going. So really choose something that's simple. The next thing, organize your materials. You know, if you can't find your yarn, your hook, stitch markers, or a needle, any of that, it just makes it very frustrating, overwhelming, and to the point where I don't even want to bother because I can't find anything. Have everything organized. And I use a lot of like makeup bags, things like that, to keep my hooks in. And also, if you go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, those kind of stores, you can get decorative boxes, and they come in all different sizes, shapes too. I use those a lot in my house, and I use them for crochet. I like that I can kind of have my stuff where I want it, but hide it. Not everybody has to see and it's nice, neat, and tidy. So organization really will help. If you set clear, achievable goals, that will help you too. You know, don't think you're going to get everything done so fast. Put them in little manageable chunks. You know, this will make you more productive. It will help. I think it's a, you know, something that needs to be said. And, you know, another thing is, you know, practice basic stitches. You know, as long as you get those basic skills down, you will not feel overwhelmed. You know, you can do the chain stitch and make it nice and even, down to the slip stitch, and then a single crochet, a half double, a double, you know, all the way. If you can do those little basic things and you feel like when you do them, they're pretty good, then, you know, that can help you too. It really helps the confidence level. And this one, I do this a lot, is use video tutorials. I don't really have any, but I can tell you who does and what are good, in my opinion, and everybody has their own. So, you know, I always say about Krista at The Secret Yarnery or Jennifer at Fiberflux, Jen at Cinnamon Stitches, Crystal Bagaudet. You know, there's so many out there. Oh, Jada and Stitches. I could go on forever, but each one is unique, has different personalities, different styles, but their tutorials are really nice, and it's nice to have the tutorial, just that visual, if it's even in a stuck spot. A lot of the patterns anymore will have a video tutorial that you could go and reference. And I did that even with that flower pot holder. I kind of thought, how do we do this? Just looked at that little spot, I get it, and then turned it off and went on my little merry way. So those are things to think about. Another thing is exploring different resources. Switch between, and this is kind of what I just said, between written pattern, videos, or even an in-person class. If you have a small yarn shop, some of them, and I know there was one near me today that does like a sip and stitch, like 10 to 2 or something like that. Like, you know, they have them different days and different hours that you can go and join a bunch of women or men, you know, people, I should say, and who like to do stitching, and they might be doing something that's knitting, but you all get together, sit there and enjoy each other's company, and then there might be someone who has a tip that you didn't think about. So it's always nice to get out in the community, and that's, you know, really kind of a cool thing. So, and that kind of goes with this last one I see here, which is seek professional advice, like at your yarn shops. I did that last year. I guess it's a year and a half. Not this past September. No, this wasn't even that. It was 2 years ago. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Teresa at Critters Crochet and Heather at Strings and Threads, they have a thing that they do every month called the Battle of the Stitches. They asked me to join them, and I did. And the stitch they pick a different stitch out of a book and they go in order. The stitch we were doing, I was not very familiar with. And even reading it in the book, because it had the instructions, I was still kind of confused. I went to my yarn shop, and it's called YarnAbility, and it's in West Virginia, in Harper's Ferry. But anyway, that was just a little side note. They were so helpful. The owner actually showed me how to do the stitch. She took the time. And then they also had the symbols, and she was showing me not only reading a pattern, but using the symbols. And those are important things. I was trying 2 years ago when I started this, to maybe go over to learn the symbols with everyone. And I didn't really get far with that, but I can recognize some of these symbols, and it's really good to know. But your local yarn shops, if you have one, they're so informative. So if you have anybody, that you can lean on, that's great. And always remember, mistakes are made. It's a learning process. It's with anything. So, and a lot of times, you're the only one that knows that mistake's there. So, especially amigurumi. Cinnamon Stitches had said the one time that amigurumi is very forgiving when it comes to mistakes. And I agree. I did a chicken. She was doing a chicken. Look at that. Can you imagine me doing a chicken? And I have to bring that chicken down. But anyway, she made a mistake. It was like, when she does tutorials, she doesn't stop and edit them. She's doing it along with you, which is really cool. But then it's like, I made a mistake. But we're making it together. You can take it out and fix it. But I was just going along with her. And that's when she said it's very forgiving, and it was, because my chicken turned out really cute. So that's my thing on that. So I hope you found this interesting and informative. And if you did, please like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And if you have other ideas and tips for overwhelmingness. And you can join me on my Facebook page, Susie's Crochet Chat. You can join over there, and then you can post pictures. You can, say hello. You can do that here too. I have a community page or tab. I don't even know what it's called. But if you hit the little community thing, then you can post pictures there. And I love seeing everybody's work. Now, since I mentioned chickens, and I just did this. Now, I don't have all back there finished because I just took my Easter stuff down. But let me go into this first. I love chickens. I just love chickens. Now, I've never nothing with real chickens, just, little fake chickens, whatever. A couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, when the chickens came out where you squeeze them and they make the noise, I got one. I have two actually, but I keep one in my car, and I called it the vacation chicken. So we were going on vacation, so I kept making it do its little squeaky thing. It's still in the car. So with that, this past Christmas, and I didn't show you at Christmas because I was so sick for so long, Dave got a hold of my family and told them, or asked them, if they would buy this for me. So I opened one at a time this gift, And I finally put them out because I thought, well, how appropriate. So I'm going to move here, and I hope I'm not going to make you sick. And I'm going to show you. Here's my coop. There they are. So that's where I put them. Yes, I'm a nut. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Like I said, like, subscribe, and comment, all the good stuff. And I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Midnight oil burning stitches remain, whispering threads holding back the strain. Susie's voice guiding, I'll never quit. Pattern's rough, but it's got heart.